Carl Swift from the UK Hypnosis Academy, and it gives me great pleasure today to introduce you to Jason Lynette from Work Smart Hypnosis. How are you, Jason?
I'm doing fantastic. How you doing, Carl?
I'm good, my man. I'm good. I'm just, like yourself, busy, just keeping myself busy and stuff. But I think what we need to do first is basically to talk about who you are, where you're from, and what you do actually to the punters. And then we're going to talk about the event that we're going to be holding this year with your good self, coming over from America to teach our students and UK people as well what you do and how you've made it so successful. So tell us who you are and where you're from, Jason.
Yeah, my name is Jason Lynette. I'm in Alexandria, Virginia, right outside of Washington, D.C., and I've been involved with hypnosis ever since 2001 as a hobby, and then full-time ever since about 2008. And really my journey inside of all of it is just coming about from thinking differently about how we approach the work that we do. So looking at it in terms of the techniques that we use, the applications of how we grow our business. And as I meet hypnotists around the world, there's a bit of a block sometimes in terms of how we talk about growing what we do. And to find out very often, it's the same strategies that we use inside of our sessions that we can hypnotically apply over to our business to make it so the way that I've scaled up year after year. So our event coming up is on one side of things, helping you to finesse your strategy in your session, but then to take those same strategies and then apply those over to your business as well. So again, it builds year after year. Many people here know me from the Work Smart Hypnosis podcast, featuring outstanding guests like Carl Smith. And the program has now been downloaded all around the world more than 200,000 times. And take that as a bit of a nod of thinking a little bit bigger about what we can achieve within our hypnotic profession.
I think as well is key, and I think we've both got the same mindset on this, Jason, is that we love to educate people, to promote, not just educate people on maybe a business approach or maybe just a technique, but educating the masses, educating people about what hypnosis potentially can do to change their lives, and educating people so it becomes more mainstream. I know in the UK we always battle against it, about it becoming mainstream, but the key thing is about educating people about how powerful this is. Those people who are not within our realms, and it's important. So, what got you started into hypnosis? What actually got you into hypnosis initially?
Yeah, part of my backstory is kind of similar to a lot of people here, perhaps, that I saw a stage hypnotist do an entertainment program. And as I'm watching it, just something about that hooked me. And then reading as much information as I could, watching as many videos as I could, and then eventually going through formal live training. And part of my journey was at one point, of all things, I was working in management in the arts. So the behind the scenes production side of things. And yet the part-time career as the hypnotist was suddenly earning more money than the full-time career. And it just became that beautiful point to walk away and, quite honestly, not look back. So to look at it all in terms of, what we're able to achieve now. I mean, you do trainings, I do trainings, and it's where you and I can do only so much as that one individual.
It looks like we're going to hop back in. Yay, technology. Welcome back, Carl. Dropped out there for a second. We're still going, though. So to look at it in terms of reaching a bigger audience, there's a line, I believe, which dates back to vaudeville entertainment, of the amateur changes their act, the professional changes their audience. So for the hypnotists out there, for the stage hypnotist, for the hypnotherapist, to be able to increase that reach in terms of those people that you can work with, to begin to think differently about how you put together your business to provide even greater value for your clients and even greater experience, and turn those people into raving fans of what you do.
Yeah, and you do a great job of that. And also as well, I think it's key to note as well that, like yourself and Mike Mandel as well, with your podcasts, that further reach and getting out there and educating people about not just about products, but who you are and that personality behind it is key. And I know that with your podcast, and obviously I've had the privilege to come on as well, is that, they're very educational and it keeps you there. And I think a lot of people, I'm speaking to people that are in therapy as well, they want to know how you do it. How do you manage to teach on the global scale? Why you've got, how have you turned it into a full-time job when I can't? And it's all about educating people. It's about projecting yourself further than where, the average person is, really. I think it's about projection. You do that well. You do it really well, hence why I want to bring you over to the UK.
Thank you. Thank you. And what I mentioned too is that many people would often look at some of these things and go, yes, but I don't want a podcast, or I don't want to do these web series of videos like you do. And to realize that, and this is what the upcoming workshop's all about, that when you break it all down to some rather easily replicatable systems, it doesn't matter if we're talking, as we are right now, Facebook Live. It doesn't matter if we're talking podcasting. It doesn't even matter if you don't want to use these strategies on your websites. Yes, you can use these everywhere. That it comes down to some rather simple principles in terms of building relationships, building the value. Whether you've heard of funnel marketing or not, it's this idea of bringing people into that communication. At the very end of it, that's where they become the client. Yet the important thing is, the one takeaway I want you to have from this is, the more you position yourself at the end of that funnel, the higher the value, the higher the credibility, the higher the quality of change inside of that process.
And in simple terms as well, I mean, if people go to either mine or your website, you could get a free product. And for those people who don't quite understand what we're talking about, it's about getting somebody to nurture somebody from the very beginning of their journey with you, all the way to a high-end mentoring scheme or something with that. And it's nothing greedy about it. And, I know a lot of people think it may be, but it's not. It's actually just business. And that's what Jason's going to be teaching. It's about how to get something and nurture the client into that funnel at the very beginning, and then all the way into a mainstream product where they buy into.
Which take note just how hypnotic that is in structure. The same strategies you would often use inside of your session are the same strategies we're going to be applying in terms of how do you rethink the business side of things. So you look at a stage hypnosis show, and they often begin with routines with their eyes closed and then gradually progressing into more profound phenomenon. You look at the hypnotic session in terms of personal change, and we may begin rather small, Dave Elman style, relax those eyelids so they just won't work, which is that interesting little bit of a foot in the door, but then it leads into the profound phenomenon in terms of using these emotional interventions. We're talking the same conversation here.
So let's get down to brass tacks here. Let's talk about it. So we're looking at bringing Jason over, and for those people that are watching this or watching it later, please leave your comments below about if you'd like to join us. But on Saturday, Sunday, 9th and 10th of June, we're going to be holding an event with young Jason. He's going to be flying over from the United States to show us what he does. And for those people that watch me, those people that sit there watching what I'm up to, I strongly recommend that you come meet Jason. It's got nothing to do with sales from point of view. I'm not getting anything from this, but Jason is absolutely amazing what he does. You've only got to look at his website. I know I'm blowing smoke up his backside, but he knows this. But the thing is that Jason does know what he does, and he does it on the tin. I've sat there in Las Vegas behind the table with Jason, watching how some of the things happen, and watching people starting that process with Jason, just starting it in there. So, long story short, Saturday, Sunday, 9th to 10th of June, at the premiere in London Heathrow. Some of you that have been on courses with me before will know that. It's down in Heathrow Airport, right next to the runway, so very easy to get to. So what we'll do is we'll talk about costings in a bit, but let's talk about what will the students take away from this experience then, Jason?
Yeah, the experience, the takeaway is that this class is going to be a certification in what I consider to be my work smart hypnosis principles. Yep. So I do things in my sessions, I do things in my business, and it looks like I do a lot, yet I don't work hard, I work smart. Hey, that's a good name for something. We should do something with that. So it's all about changing the thinking and how you address your client sessions and applying that thinking as well to how you work within your business. Yeah. So whether it's the results of your client or the continued growth of your business, watching that continue to grow as things begin to move forward. So the real takeaway is this sort of mindset shift that in many ways, I mentioned this, that, we can get people sometimes talking about whether or not you should do print advertising, whether or not you should do business networking, whether or not you should do Facebook marketing and all these other things that are out there, and whatever else it's going to be 5-10 years from now. And the principle is often that it's not the platform, it's the strategy that we bring to it. So it's how you make use of it. It's not the thing itself that's magic, it's how you apply it. The same as, there could often be polarizing conversations around various techniques. Do you do hypnotic age regression? Do you not do regression? Well, it's only as good as how it's put into use. and to apply that systematic thinking and put that into place to begin to revitalize the streamlined process of your sessions as well as the growth of your business too.
Okay, cool. So I don't know if there's any interruption just then, but yeah, this class, is it for new hypnotists or, who's it aimed at? Who are you going to be aiming at?
Right. There's two sides of this. I mean, there's a part of the community that, of course, are brand new to this, or perhaps they've gone through some training and they're still in those initial phases of building up that confidence to jump in. So for the person who's brand new to this, the mindset is, that game of, I wish I knew then what I know now. I've done a lot of the mistakes for you. I've made a lot of the errors for you and workshopped that out, pulled the kinks out of the system. So for the person who's brand new to hypnosis, recently trained, recently certified, perhaps, for that part of the audience, it's about not having to reinvent the wheel, to have the systems in place from the start, to be able to get things up in motion, get out there, get into your community, and drive the audience towards your office. I mean, the other side of that are the experienced hypnotists, the people who are already working rather consistently at this point. And for that group of people, again, that phrase I mentioned earlier, that the amateur changes their act, the professional changes their audience. So to look at this as that opportunity to shift that thinking, to shift the strategies, and by doing so, one of my favorite themes is scaling up. We should be building progression in what we do moving forward, becoming more effective within our sessions, more effective within our business. So whether they're brand new or whether they're well seasoned at it, there's some key takeaways in terms of, again, strengthening that business, strengthening those formulas, those foundations in terms of how we build this all up.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, no, it's all important. So you're selling products on hypnosis techniques at the moment, and your business methods. Are they the same thing?
Yeah, it's a question I get pretty frequently, that I've got two programs that are online. One is Hypnotic Workers, which is the access pass to my digital hypnosis library, as well as Hypnotic Business Systems, which is the business training library. And quite simply, no, it's a different experience to be sitting at home or in your office watching videos and interacting with that material. In the live hands-on experience, the benefit becomes is that we're able to build these things together. So applying these things in that hands-on practice format, that this is a class that's going to hit themes on one side of things, again, in terms of what you do within your sessions. So, for example, the methods that I bring to Hypnotic Phenomenon to get that foot in the door and then naturally progress it moving forward. And then to actually take these business strategies together as a group, we're going to be workshopping and doing that hot seat opportunity to actually strategize this stuff together. So it's that opportunity to really leave with the blueprint that's custom designed for the way that you want it to be. So the hands-on experience live in person is very different than the digital access, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love listening to what you got to say, because there's tons of stuff. I always pick up things, but what do you think most hypnotists or hypnotherapists do wrong nowadays?
Oh, that's fun. Most hypnotists are trying to operate their business in a format that in marketing is called direct response marketing. The idea of that is basically, think of like a commercial. Hey, I've got this water bottle, who wants to buy it? And they keep reminding you of it over and over until you actually are at that threshold and make that decision. So they're filtering people into this binary conversation, either yes, they're a client, or no, they're not a client. So they're looking at this relationship in terms of hoping, to use the favorite metaphor here. Let's rewind part of my personal story back. It's 2003 and I'm in college, and I go up to this girl named Michelle, and imagine if I suddenly said, you and I are going to get married and have children.
Holy shit.
That probably wouldn't have worked. Now that we've been married for almost 10 years, it might have worked because she's got a great sense of humor, but it would have been freaking creepy back then. So
Completely.
Too many people in hypnosis are trying to consummate the marriage on the first date. So to look at it in terms of building relationships, building value, look at it in terms of, again, let's bring our hypnosis and NLP language into this. Pacing and leading. So we're going to be pacing that conversation, providing value. The benefit of this is those people that are a match for your services are now becoming even more motivated to work with you. Yeah. And let's be fair, there are some people out there who, let's phrase it in a positive way, are not quite yet ready to go over that threshold and then come into your office. Yeah. So it's all about building a system that those people who are the best fit for what you do are now willing to come in, now willing to commit, now ready to make use of the strategies you share with them and are willing to pay for it as well, which is a much better conversation than, again, hey, I've got this thing, who wants to buy it? Yeah. So to think about it in terms of cultivating a relationship, continuing that rapport inside of the dialogue by applying that little principle, which this is where we're going to spend a lot of time inside of this course in terms of, the things that I do are not necessarily the things that you should do. The things that Carl does are not necessarily the exact things for me. So my positioning on the business side is that I'm the hypnosis business guinea pig. I will not teach you things that I haven't personally done myself.
Yeah, that's interesting.
There's too many folks that are out there going, hey, here's a great idea I learned somewhere else. Here it is. Yeah, I workshop this stuff for you. I've put it into place and learning these little finesses in terms of, just the whole segment on my catchphrase, nobody wants your damn newsletter, to think about it in terms of offering something specific of value that's cultivating that relationship. So back to my metaphor from before, it's 2003 and I asked her out. Well, actually, no. First, I was really shy about it. I asked if it would be okay if I asked her out. And then I asked her out. Then we eventually moved in together. Then we got the dog. That led into getting engaged. Now we've got kids. And here we are almost married for 10 years. Yeah. So to look at it in terms of building relationships of what we do and to bring that same quality experience to how you interact with your clients, and even better, how to automate the whole thing too.
Yeah, and I just wanted to come back on something as well, which I find very important, and you've just briefly gone on there. It's about your relationship, and I think sometimes when I'm watching, and especially in the past few days, where people are trying to shortcut it without building that relationship, that me and you have been on the circuit for an amount of time now. We've done the international stuff. And it's about nurturing people. It's about getting people in and getting them to believe in your work and how you do it and being that, like you just said. And I think it's important that you don't shortcut, because if your foundations are wobbly at the very beginning, then it's just going to fall apart towards the end. So I think it's a valid point. And I think people will learn that, it's about building that relationship.
Yeah, we've got a comment here as well. See if we can get it on the screen from Barry. Great opportunity. Marketing is one of the biggest things that most hypnosis trainings don't supply. So many hypnotists waste time and money searching for the magic techniques of the magic word, thinking if they learn, they will be inundated with clients. This is just not so. By studying marketing with someone like Jason, who has adapted great marketing techniques to the field of hypnosis, you will see your practice grow exponentially. And it's actually working with a volume of clients that will increase your skills. Thank you, Barry, for sharing that. Yeah, it's where it's this chicken or the egg moment sometimes that I have a phrase at the end of my certification trainings that kind of ends in a clever way, which is that, well, you've all signed up for a training course, and I have to admit, you've been duped. This has been education. The training is what happens as you take this information and now put it actually into use. Yeah, so absolutely. It's a benefit too that, it's not just the practice makes perfect. It's that opportunity to work with more people, to continue to refine what you do. It's where I'm someone who continues to advance my training. I was there teaching at HypnoThoughts Live post-convention last year. And there's some guy who I signed up for his pre-conference before last year.
Some dodgy thing. I don't know.
I know something. He pulled out a pig at one point, but yeah, I took a genetic shift. It was fantastic. So that opportunity to reinvest in yourself, to make that investment in your own growth, which now it becomes that no-brainer in terms of, hey, here's this training opportunity that I want to follow. Here's this convention that I want to go to. Here's this thing I want to bring into my office that's going to build a much better quality experience to have that ability where the business is now sustaining itself. It's a much more comfortable place to be.
Yeah, and that's it. And as well as I do, and I've built my business, and you've had to build it from yourself, and building those stages up, and it does cost money, but initially you can do it cost effectively. Let's say not cheap, cost effectively. You can start off. You don't have to play with like the toys that we've got, like Infusionsoft and things like that.
Yeah, everything I do starts with no cost to low cost. Then, and again, there's something beautiful about not to dive too deep into technique here, but active versus passive strategies. So it's where we can get all crazy with analytics and websites and Infusionsoft and tracking and everything. Yet if I just want to print money for my business, to schedule that local talk and be out there in my community and be seen. And it's not just about being there. It's about applying the right strategies to build that valuable experience for the attendees, and then build that proper opportunity to continue the relationship with the people that are there. The phrase from the old movie, if you build it, they will come. No, you've got to put the right strategies in place. Otherwise, they won't come.
I mean, I started my career when I first started in hypnosis, literally teaching in coffee shops. But at the very end of it, at least I was having my business cards and something to upsell, whether it be an MP3, but then developed like your good self, and developed a system where it now works. And we all, a lot of people were saying, oh, well, I can't invest it. I haven't got £325. I do get that. And I accept that some people don't. It's because you've been on all the funky courses, like you just said a minute ago. You've been on all the courses that will promise you the bells and whistles. You haven't been able to tell anyone. You can have the best products in the world, but if you don't tell anyone, it's going to be a very, very lonely world. And that's why I'm always on. Last night I did a Facebook Live. Today I'm doing a Facebook Live. Tomorrow I've got to do something else for a Facebook Live. But it's keeping that image in there and keeping yourself active and keeping it in people's peripheral vision. That's the main thing. Not harrowing them.
There's a really great point you hit upon there, which is that the more of you that you bring to what you do. So people often have that concern around, hey, this other hypnotist is in town and they're charging this, or this other person is making this coupon offer of some sort. Yeah. When you learn how to build that reputation, when you learn how to build that presence, when you learn how to share what you do, you're no longer a commodity. Yeah. And hear this from the most positive place possible. It builds that great situation where it's often sometimes just a bit of a courtesy that you're explaining, oh, yeah, and here's the cost of the service.
Yeah.
You become an irreplaceable asset rather than just the same old as everyone else.
Yeah, and that's key. I mean, I was talking to people sometimes. They're fearful that there's another hypnotist in the town. I don't care. That where we are I'm in the HQ at the moment, is that where we are, there's another hypnotherapist down the road, and she charges £40, and I charge a lot more than than she does. And a lot of people say, well, she's going down the road. But a lot of people travel from afar. Local people seem to go to the young lady down the road. And that's all well and good. And I'm not fearful of it. In fact, I support her. I actually guide her and show her things because I'm not in fear of that. And I think people do get themselves into tiswas. But my and this isn't a massive global, I'm looking for a global market. I'm looking to get out there, working on Skype and doing things like that. So, boo.
That's a client calling you right now, I bet.
There you go. There's a client.
Hey, this stuff works.
But the thing is, though, it's not operating from a state of fear. That's the key thing there, is that, getting people to, well, I just shut my phone up, is it's about investing in yourself. It's about projecting yourself further as well. And, you can have the best products in the world, like I said a minute ago, but if you don't tell anyone, you're screwed. Mm-hmm. It's all about helping people. It doesn't matter if there's another hypnotist down the bloody road. It doesn't bother me. I'm a different breed. I'm a different animal compared to them. So that's the key thing there. Absolutely. But right, so let's recap. Let's go, Roger. I know Roger. I think I know who it was.
I'm Jason. Never mind.
So let's just recap. Okay, Saturday, Sunday, 9th and 10th of June. We are going to be at the Premier Inn at London Heathrow Airport. So what we've discussed, me and Jason, is because obviously the link's just there. I think if you could just...
Right on the screen right now, if you head over to worksmarthypnosis.com/UK.
Good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to teach you for the first 15 people that sign up to Jason coming over from the States to come over here. And I want you to go to his website, and I want you to go look at what he does, and I want you to see everything he does. And that's what we're going to be doing with you here, showing you the basics, all the way of how to get yourself there. The first 15 people that sign up, Jason's agreed, for $325 UK, you can sign up and have this experience with Jason and take away the information And that is the key part to it, people. We're not going to sit here and sell. There's no point. But on the same token, the first 15 people, it's at 325. I strongly say this. It's not how much it costs you. It's how much is it going to make you. That is a fact. And those people that know me, I trust Jason implicitly, and I strongly advise you go do it, because I learn off of Jason as well. I sit there on the back end of his course on his monthly things. I sit there watching, but
yeah, and I share, just one of the takeaways is in terms of building packages, building programs for your clients. Yeah. So there's too many people in the mindset of single session, single service, and that unfortunately sometimes does build the situation, not always, but it sometimes does build the situation of, looking for the binary change. It either worked or it didn't work, as opposed to we took a massive step forward. And now there's a little bit of cleanup, and it's where, and the principle in terms of how I work with clients, it's less and less about getting rid of the problem and more about transitioning them into that ideal outcome. So to immediately, this is one of the biggest takeaways that people who have gone through my information before, people who have consulted with me, to break out of that single session, single payment format, instead of building this process, this program for the client, providing even more value, even greater change. It's actually where you can make back your investment on the course with just one new client now.
Yeah. And I think it's important to realize that I think that both me and you realize that we both probably started off on something like AdWeber or MailChimp, and we've progressed, and now we've gone to Infusionsoft, and now I've got people that look after Infusionsoft in the background. That didn't come straight away. I've had to build up resources, finances, and everything like that, build the business up to have these big toys in the background. If you're not sure a CRM is, what Infusionsoft is, go have a look at it, but don't purchase it on this, by the way. Not unless you know what not unless you don't. But it's about
the best way to look at it is that, again, it's the snowballing effect where we're compounding that success. Moreover, it's where when people come to where I am, I'm sitting in my office in Alexandria, Virginia. I've got this room where I see clients, another practitioner room, a classroom. And this is a bit of an anomaly in the hypnotic profession. Not everybody needs this much square footage in terms of the space. There's a ton of people who are single office, single practitioner, and even that alone can be a massive business. There's people who have the interest in taking things online, as Carl has, as I have, and it's not necessarily something you have to do. I think the real phrase is that it's a myth that you have to have multiple streams of income. It's a myth that you have to. It's a really good idea if you do. It's a whole lot more comfortable way of living. Yet it's where this blueprinting that we're going to do together inside of this upcoming course, June 9th and 10th, coming up rather soon, worksmarthypnosis.com/UK. See how I seamlessly brought that in there? It's that format of building the business that you want to do. So there's segments of my business that I did at one point that now I don't do anymore. And it's not because, the market doesn't exist for that anymore. No, because you're allowed to say, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm interested in. Carl, at one point, I was doing home hypnosis weight loss parties. I was going into people's homes and I was doing group weight loss sessions and charging per head. And it would work out to be a rather good payday. I just got tired of driving to people's homes and waiting for this one who hasn't shown up yet. I find it to be more fun when I'm in my office. I enjoy this connecting through the screen. I've got clients around the world. And what I enjoy is the almost three-ring circus aspect of all that I do. I was speaking at a convention in Vegas this past weekend. I'm here in the office seeing clients. Later this month, I'm actually going to a marketing convention, which most of you would find that to be the most boring event possible. But I love this stuff. So I'm the one going off spending tens of thousands of dollars finding out what the millionaire marketers are doing, filtering that down to what's appropriate with our hypnotic process, filtering it in such a way that, yes, we're a unique bunch of people, making it work for us, as well as just strategizing my own principles. And that's what I share with you.
And I think it's key. And I think for those people that invest in that £325 there to come work with you for 2 days, if you implement what Jason says, and I don't want you to think this is some type of upsell, big, massive Tony Robbins thing. It's not. I want you to realize that if you just implement some of the strategies that Jason's going to be talking about, you will make that over. It's not how much it costs you. It's how it's what's it going to make me. That's the way I look at things. I look at things now. Is this going to be good? Is this going to be bad? I'm telling you now, Jason is the real deal. Go over to the website. And we hopefully will see you on the 9th and 10th of June. Like I said, the link's on there for those people who want it. We'll put it up in the group in a little while. But anything else you want to add, Jason?
That's it for now. Looking forward to coming over, looking forward to visiting, and looking forward to spreading this awareness that, again, there's no benefit in being the one who's still kind of struggling. There's no pride in the working really hard at this and kind of fooling. I see too many people who are fooling themselves into thinking that they're in business, into thinking they're being productive, tracking the wrong things within what they do. Instead, let's put it all into use, into what actually gets results and what gets those people into your office and into your streams and helps you to spread this great awareness of what we do.
Education, 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 my friend. That's all I ever say. Okay, 9th, 10th of June, premiere in London Heathrow, worksmarthypnosis.com, where are we, /UK. Go have a look. The link's there, it'll be there. It's an amazing opportunity, genuinely. You know me, especially with the UK Hypnosis Academy. We only bring in the best, and I've known Jason for a few years now, and he is absolutely immense at what he does. Don't believe me, go look at the website and go look at what goes on there. And go listen to the podcast as well. That is a key thing as well. Go listen to Jason on the podcasts. So, Jason, it's been an absolute pleasure having you. And speaking with you today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next few months anyway, when we're back over here. And obviously we've got Vegas again this year. Obviously we're going to have to, sit down at the Alligator Bar and talk over a couple of things there, of course, with a light shandy or something like that.
Pajama. Yes.
But no, it'll be good to see you, my friend. People, I think we're going to wrap it here. Jason, thanks very much for your time today. Folks, as ever, take care and all love to your families and that. And I hope to see you on one of our courses soon, especially with Jason. So take care, folks. All the best. My name's Carl Smith from the UK Hypnosis Academy, and here with Jason Lynette, all the way from Work Smart Hypnosis. Take care.
All right, I'm Jason Lynette, and as I like to say, make it rain. See you next time.